Hello, fantastic fourth grade readers, and happy Wednesday. I was wondering if you had ever heard the phrase before, not to judge a book by its cover. Has anybody ever heard that before? That's an expression that people use, and what it means is to not judge something by how it looks on the outside or what you see whenever you first look at it. But something that I want to teach you today that is so cool about expository nonfiction is that we can get tons of information about what the book will teach us, what it'll be about, because remember, that's expository nonfiction's job to teach us. We can get so much information about the topic of the book and what it'll be about before we even open the book. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to judge some books by their covers and the descriptions that they have on Epic. So I'm going to share my screen with you and show you what I'm looking at on Epic. So what I did is I searched deer on Epic. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to find a book about a deer. And I had a reason for doing this. So recently I was driving and there was this baby deer that was on the side of the road with its mom that I saw. So that got me thinking. I was wondering about how baby deer, which are called fawn, how fawn grow up into big deer. So that was the question that I wanted answered. And I thought about expository nonfiction, and I thought about how good of a job expository nonfiction does of teaching us about things. So I thought that finding a nonfiction book about deer would be perfect for answering my question about how fawn turn into deer. So what I did is I went on to Epic and I typed in the word deer. And let's see what comes up when I do that. So I get all kinds of books here, as you can see. I get books about white-tailed deer. This one looks like it's a poetry book. And here's a book about Bambi. But what I really want, I know that I want an expository nonfiction book because I'm trying to learn about baby deer. So I'm going to click this button right here on Epic, and I'm just going to turn it to nonfiction because that's going to give us true books about deer, and it's going to get rid of the books like Bambi and the poetry book that aren't really what I'm looking for right now. So now I can see that my results that I got from typing in the word deer, they're more like the books I'm looking for. They're more like books that teach us about deer, like expository nonfiction. So then I'm going to look at some of these books and I'm going to look at the covers. And when I look at this cover, I see the title that it's about white-tailed deer. And then I'm not sure what kind of deer it was I saw the other day. So I'm not sure if it's a white-tailed deer. So I'm going to click on the book. It looks like it would have some good information in it. And then I'm going to read this. It says, discover more. This is called the book description. It says, discover more about these shy animals in this engaging book for young students. So there, I'm not really sure if it's going to answer my question. It doesn't really tell me a lot about the book. It doesn't tell me if it's going to talk about fawn and how baby deer turn into adult deer. So that book, I'm going to think, maybe that's not the right one for me right now. So I'm going to keep scrolling down and I'm going to keep looking for books on here. And I see this one here that says super cute baby deer. That's the cover and that's the title. And I'm like, that deer that I saw the other day, that baby deer was so cute. And so I'm going to read this description, the book description, because it passes my first test. It's about the topic I want it to be about, and I can tell that from the cover. It says, fawns, remember fawns are baby deer, live in the forest and wobble around when they first learn to walk. Find out more about baby deer and their mothers. Doesn't that sound exactly like what I wanted to learn about? It's going to tell me about baby deer, and it's also going to tell me even more. It's going to tell me about that mommy deer that I saw also next to the baby deer. So I see just from looking at the book cover and looking at the description that this is probably a good fit book for what I'm wanting to learn about from my expository nonfiction. And I can also see from looking at this book, see this little box, this little green box right here that says read to me? That means that this book, I can have this book read to me in case maybe my eyes are tired from being on the screen all day and I want the book to be read to me. This book will read it to me.
Fawn.
Just like that. A baby deer is called a fawn. It lives in the forest. So perfect. That book is great and it gives me the information that I need. So what I want you to do today is I want you to do something kind of similar to this. I want you to go in and find the epic collection that I have assigned to you. This collection is called Oregon Flora and Fauna. Remember when we learned about those words? So flora is about plants and fauna is about animals. So these collections are going to teach us about what's in our backyards, the plants and animals that are in our backyards. So I want you to go in and find that collection, and then I want you to spend some time looking at the covers and the book descriptions in there to see what you might learn from the collections that we're going to be looking at in this unit. Then you're going to go to Seesaw, and I'm going to ask a couple questions about whether or not you went and you could get on to that epic collection. And then you're going to look at another cover and a book description and tell me what you think the book is about. Great job, fourth graders.